Hello and welcome to the studio. We are back again from last week here at Cedd's, and today we are here with a new member of our team, Liz. Say hello to everybody. She is our community worker. She's going to be based here at Cedd, so hopefully working and meeting a lot of you. We've kind of going to have a discussion about possible things that we might be looking at in the future and things you're going to be looking at here at Cedd. So we will start that and have a look at different things that you may be interested in. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat and I can read those out for Liz. I've got some here, but obviously if you've got any of your own, then let us know and we can have a conversation about those. So first of all, I wanted to kind of start with just a little bit about yourself, what you've done previously, what you're hoping, what you're bringing to Cedd's.
Okay, well, I think most recently I've spent a lot of time in the church, so I've just finished studying and I've been licensed as a lay minister, which is basically just a lay person in the church with a license who gets to do lots of really cool, fun things. And I have over the years spent a lot of time with various groups in the community, on allotments, working with charities, meeting lots and lots of different people, lots of diverse people. So when the post came up for Cedd, I have to admit, actually, I avoided it 3 times. But after the 3rd time, I thought there's something going on here and I'm being prompted. So I had to go for it.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, we kept on putting that one up. We were like, we want to get as many people involved and see, try and find that perfect candidate, and luckily we have. So so that's obviously what's kind of your role here. Obviously it's called a community worker, but what would you say is your kind of responsibilities here for Cedd's?
Okay, so a community worker is I think a good general way of labelling it. But the way that I see it, because it is a church, everything that we do comes from a place of faith. And because of that, the church is and should be a place that connects to the community and meets the needs of the community, but also offers, for those that want to, a way to learn the good news, but not in fixed or rigid ways, but in ways that, is going to bring it alive to them.
Yeah.
And so the way that I see it, being a community worker here, is not only providing ways that people can come and socialise and activities, but it's also trying to figure out with those people through conversations how they might like to hear, say, stories from the Bible, and have conversations and hear testimonies, hear people's stories.
Yeah, so almost like an introduction a little bit for some people who may be a bit, aren't Christian. They might be possibly looking to get involved with the church, get involved with Cedd's, and it might be a nice kind of meeting, have that chat and, kind of introduce them to, what we can do here for them.
That's it, yeah. Because sometimes I think, personally, I'm an unchurched person. That means that I didn't grow up in the church. I actually came to faith at a late stage in my life, and it's quite unbelievable to me even today that I ended up in ministry of some sort. And I think the word church for some people can be misconstrued. So by having conversations, it's a good way of interpreting it in a new way.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for here, we want it to become a more welcoming place for everybody around, not just people of faith. We want people to use this as a hub where they can meet their friends, where they can enjoy, activities, they can put on events and things like that. And I think that's something that, you'll obviously be a big part of. And if people are interested in that, they can come here, they can talk to you about it, and we can maybe, look at different things that you might be wanting to look at. So I would say, please, again, if you are interested, contact us on social media. Bernard, if you could put that on there for people, just the details of contacting us, and if you've got anything you want to discuss, feel free to come down here. We're happy to have a chat. But yeah, anything you want to look at, let us know. And again, if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat. So from there, let's have a look at maybe some possible plans. Obviously, I know we haven't got anything set in stone at the moment, but what would you say of things maybe you're looking at of possible, things we might be putting on here in the coming future?
Yeah, so just kind of linking to what you said about, Bernard putting up the links and all that, people getting in touch, people coming in and having conversations is really the first port of call for us. I know Oasis on a Wednesday at 2:00 is kind of a time that you can come in and have a cup of coffee or tea, and that's an excellent time to come in and talk to all us and other people as well. And we want to hear what your views are of this area and what you would like to see here, because then that is the best, I think, way to do it, is not just to try and fabricate or make up some sort of group that may not be anything that would be any use to this community. But saying that, I have had some conversations this past week, and I do think that there is a need for social inclusion. So Oasis is good, but I really think we need other opportunities that include people that maybe that wouldn't be any good for. So it's really social inclusion and all age activities, so for adults, for elderly, and for youth as well.
Yeah, that sounds great. I think the main thing that we would like is input from others, from the people who would be going to the activities, having spending time here, knowing what they would like to do. So it is, if you have got any ideas, it's really important just to speak to us, and we can make those happen for you. So that's really, really useful to for hopefully people to know, and people can speak to us from there. So moving on then, what would you say is your vision for St. Cedd's? What are you hoping, a couple of years down the line, you look at it and you go, this is where I would like it to be? I know it's quite a big question, but just if you were thinking ahead, what would you like to see here? Okay,
just going on what I'm hearing, like a lot of other places, a lot of other churches and community centres, it's gone through a bit of a rocky time. It's unstable, The pandemic has kept people, indoors. I think really we need to just inject a new life into this place. So the vision really is, when I think about it, lots of people coming in, lots of things happening, lots of conversations happening.
Yeah.
But also, I think we really need to focus on including people that aren't necessarily being included in things,
Yeah.
People who have diverse ways of thinking.
Yeah.
People with disabilities. So those as well, and not to segregate them, to include them, but so
make
it's
it
inclusive.
open for everybody.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. I think that's what we want everybody within the community to get involved. I mean, the way I look at it is like St. Peter's. Every day you've got something different happening usually.
Yeah.
Today you had art streams, and that's been really successful. A lot of people go into that, but you also have what is it? Is it puddle ducks?
Yeah, so it was droplets. But now, from feedback, we've changed the name to puddle ducks.
So that's something for toddlers to go to. There's so many things going on there, and I think that's what I would like for St. Cedd's. Have something on here almost every day. Have so many people coming in and enjoying the space, and being able to join in. I mean. And that's something also with the studio that we've got, which is great having it here. Anybody who wants to come in, and maybe we may look at possible bookings and stuff like that, but they could use this space and use it for their own projects and things they're looking at doing. So I think it's about everybody trying to utilise what we've got available here, which is a lovely kind of area. And I'm sure in the I was speaking to Colin, but in the possible future, you might look at different areas, maybe having a little coffee space here. Obviously, I know we've got the kitchen, but having a bit more of a coffee and food space here, or doing something out the front. I know they're talking about maybe having a seating area and stuff like that, but it's stuff that might happen in the distant future. But it's all, once things start going, they can snowball. So it's hoping that could be something in the future.
Yeah, there's an element of risk, I think, when you start things up. So we could try things and they may not be as successful as we hope, but we've got to try them, because only then can we figure out if they're going to be any good or not.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, the last thing I'd say is just, have you got anything you would like to say at all to people watching, people in the area? Anything you would like to just speak to them about in terms of what you're planning, or what you'd like them to know about St. Cedd's?
Yeah, I would absolutely love to talk to people about what we're planning here, and so I think if you could get in contact with us or come and see me or others here, I'd love to talk to you and meet you and hear about your life stories and your experiences and what you think of this community and what it needs.
Perfect. No, that's great. Well, thank you for joining me for that. It's been a real insight into what you're looking to bring to St. Cedd's. So that's great. Thank you very much. What I'd like to do now is we've got a new clip for you from Bernard and Cornelia about St. Cedd's. So what we're going to do is we're going to play that for you now, just to get a bit more of an insight about what St. Cedd's is and what you could possibly be looking at doing here in the future.
I'm Reverend Bernard, curate at Life Streams Churches.
Hi, I'm Cornelia Noguiu, ordinand in Church of England.
We are here to say hello to you.
We are here every Sunday, but a day in the week time, there's somebody here waiting for you.
Especially Wednesday, starting with 2 o'clock to 3:30. But as soon as possible, we will be back here every single day to meet you, to have a talk, and just to help each other.
The reason we are here is to worship God, but we are here even to speak with you, to listen your story, to grow together, to make friends each other.
Starting in 1953, when the first stone for this building was laid, this church, this place, had a good role in developing the identity of the area. The people met here, the people knew each other, the people create friendship. I know that in the history of this church, there were a few hiccups, as was before 2018, and especially in the pandemic time.
It was a hard time for each of us, but now more than ever, we need to come out, we need to meet together, we need to share a cup of tea, a coffee, a biscuit. It is time.
Then we try now to open this building for you, to create again possibility to meet in a friendly place, in a safe place, and to open ourselves to each other, how to continue to build the identity of this area, of this neighborhood.
So believe me, when you'll come here, you'll enjoy it. You will meet here special people waiting for you. You'll meet here special people who listen your story and pray for you, help you if you need. Why not?
For now, from outside of the church, about history, about neighborhood, we will stop here. But you will find other information about the sanctuary where we worship, or from inside the building where you can meet when the weather is not so beautiful as it is today.
So please, do not let us to wait here. Come and visit us.
See you soon for more information about the sanctuary and our presence here.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a nice day. Stay safe. Visit us.
Bye. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
So that was just a word from Bernard and Cornelia about St. Cedd's. Really, nice little clip there. So it's good to hear, and I'm sure people you might be seeing on our social media the Lent service and the Lent clips that they're doing each day that have been really doing well and getting more people involved with live streams. So please carry on watching those. But just before we move on to our question of the day, I just wanted to bring up this comment from Joanna. I thought it was really, really nice to hear from her. She's put, Liz is a lovely person who will be a real asset to St. Cedd's and to the Livestreams Church family. I have always found Liz very easy to talk to, friendly and welcoming when I have spoken to her. So that was really, really kind from Joanna. But it also, shows that we are here just to talk to you. If you have anything you want to ask, anything you want to discuss, feel free to come down or just contact us, and we'd be happy to have a chat with you about ideas that you've got. But what we're going to do now is move on to our question of the day. Now, I actually got Liz to look at this and to bring it up, because obviously I've been trying to think of them each week and they are getting harder and harder. But today we're going to talk about people who are isolated in the community, and how we can support them, and what we can do maybe to get them more involved, or even just help them in their kind of mental well-being and kind of things like that. So you have a little bit of information on there, but what would you say is important, where people are isolated, how can we support them?
Well, I think there's this talk, isn't there, in some society that we've gone back to normal, but actually I don't think we've gone back. I think we've just gone forward to a new reality.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, they haven't actually, because they're still worried, and it is, you can understand why, because the COVID hasn't gone.
No, it hasn't. I don't know if it's risen. I haven't really looked at all the figures and things, but a lot more people are getting COVID again.
Yes.
And it is still a scary time. I do completely agree with you. Like, it feels like we haven't gone back. We've gone forward. We've gone into a new normality almost, where it's like we're now living with COVID.
That's it. Which,
rather than going back to when we didn't have it, which is still scary. It does mean that sometimes people, and I've definitely felt this, where I've felt I don't really want to go somewhere because I'm scared that I could get COVID.
That's it. And even myself, to be honest with you, I was looking after somebody who was really unwell, and they had to isolate, and I had to isolate as well because I was looking after them. And coming out of that, trying to think of when it would be safe to do it, was really scary. I didn't know if it was the right time, or was it taking unnecessary risk. But it's not everybody's coming out. Everybody, some people who were isolated before the pandemic are still isolated, and there's probably more people now, isn't there, than ever?
Yeah, definitely. No, definitely. I think it has been such a difficult, 2 years now.
Yeah.
And it is still a scary time, trying to avoid COVID, especially with a lot of people. I mean, in this area as well, a lot of people are high risk. You've got elderly people around that are still trying to stay safe, and especially where restrictions are being lifted, it felt like things kind of going back to where we were, but realistically there's still there is still that chance, and I think things just need to carry on as they are, in terms of we need to try and get back to what we were doing. We just need to do it in a safe way. So I'm sure that's when we put on things here and stuff like that, we'll always look at doing it in a safe way to try and stop or try and prevent the possibility of things spreading that way.
That's right. And not just because of COVID. Some people have been affected, by mental well-being and physical well-being as well, because of the periods of isolation. That's deteriorated. And the good news is, though, that there's been a lot more funding for local services and those that are more accessible. So one of the places that I'm going to give a shout out to, and I hope it's okay, is the Essex Wellbeing Service, which is it's .co.uk. So the Essex Wellbeing Service.co.uk. And on there is so many good links and articles and information that people you can put in your details and what it is you think you want support with, and they will contact you, and talk you through it. And that's so much easier than having to maybe go to the doctors, isn't it?
Yeah, it just gives you that information when you need it, and learn more about it. I think that's really useful. I mean, in terms of where people are maybe now looking to socialise more, as you know, we've kind of come out of the worst part of COVID and things like that, how would you say the people who do feel disconnected and do feel a bit trapped in almost a way, and they are maybe looking to socialise more, how do you feel like we can almost support them, or we can help people get back to that place where they feel safer to go out and socialise?
It's breaking down that barrier, but it's doing it carefully. And I think if people are apprehensive about coming out because they don't really know what to expect, and sometimes we think it's worse than it is, it's maybe we could phone them and have a telephone conversation, or you know, maybe they can email us in or send us a message, and we can support them in that way, by hearing from them, you know, people and what their needs are. We'll be able to respond to that. So it's, for example, if people aren't you know, don't want to be in a room with other people without a face mask on, perhaps we can do something where we encourage people to still use their face masks.
Yeah, I think it is really important to speak to people on the phone, contact them, you know, people you haven't seen in a long time. Like, it's always important to just check on people and just make sure, you know, they're okay, how are they doing, because I think we all kind of fall into that trap where we don't always contact everybody, we don't speak to family members or friends and things like that because we're so busy in our day-to-day lives. And sometimes just a quick phone call or a quick text can mean the world to somebody, can't it? So that's definitely something to do as well. You know?
Definitely. I mean, everybody's been through an ordeal, and you know, we all deserve a little bit of care. But actually, sometimes you get the best care, the best comfort by helping other people.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's also, once you have that initial conversation, that initial kind of check-up, you can then look at different things to do with them. Like maybe you say, let's go out for a coffee, let's you know, go to this. And I'm sure that's something as well that we hope that we can bring to people if we have like Oasis on a Wednesday here, or if we have different events coming up. You can say, oh, we haven't seen each other in a while, let's go to Oasis, or let's go to St. Cedd's, there's this on, and it gives you that chance to socialise again.
And also, if the weather's nice, we can sit outside.
Yeah, not like today, but yeah, like last week, we'll get back that weather. But that is mainly our question of the day today. So again, thank you for you know, getting that for us and discussing that with us. That is mainly everything for today. Before we go, you know, just looking at us, you know, what our plans are, what we've got going on around the churches, around live streams in the next couple of weeks. We've obviously got our usual services. Unfortunately, Art Streams has finished now, but there may be a possibility of that returning at some point in the future. We are going to have some more stuff come up on our social media over next week, so please stay in tune and you might be able to see different things that might be coming up. Obviously we've got Easter coming up, so that's going to be a busy time with the half term, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot going on. So please do stay in contact with us through our social media and you can see what we've got going on. And if you are interested in anything, come down to St. Peter's, come down to here, and we can look at booking you in for things and things like that. But thank you for joining us. Have you got anything else you'd like to say at all before we close up today?
Just that I'm really cutting it fine here for the half term, obviously having started just the week before, but I really want to try and squeeze in at least one activity for children there, because I know that, you know, parents at home may struggle for what to entertain them with. So what I'll do is I'll get that together, and then Joe will put it on.
Yeah, get some stuff on social media for you. So hopefully we'll have something here during the Easter holidays, and you know, maybe you could come along to that. But thank you for joining us. Welcome to the team as well, Liz. You know, obviously I know you've only been here for a week, but I know we're really looking forward to working together and getting St. Cedd's in a place where we can get more people involved. So yeah, thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next week.